Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. I hope that you are doing amazing. Welcome to today's Q&A. We are currently live on a couple of places. We are live on IG. We're live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. So if you get disconnected, baby, you got places to come and find your girl. So we are on IG, we are on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook, okay? All under the same name, Susana Briscoe-Alba, all across these platforms. Today, I'm pretty pumped because we are going to answer some of your questions. I asked you to please share with me what were some of your questions and that I would answer them live during this live today. So as people are coming into the room, tell me where you are joining me from. I am in New York. Okay. So if this is your first time catching me live, welcome. My name is Susana Alba. I am the lead career strategist at Dunamis Coaching and Consulting Services, where we teach you how to land six-figure roles through leadership development and career strategy. So I have your questions up on this side of my screen. And if you have a question that doesn't get answered during the live, there is going to be a question bubble on IG where you can submit your question. And if once I get through these questions, if we have time, I will get to your questions in real time. Okay, so I am looking forward to chatting with y'all. Welcome, Florida. Let's see who else is in the building. Let's see. All right, if this is your first time catching me live, tell me where you are joining me from. If you are catching this on the replay, comment #replay and let me know that you are here. So like that, we can get this party started. I love to see it. I see Bali, Indonesia is in the building. Kansas City is in the house. Texas is in the house. Hey, Texas. I love it. I love to see it. California is in the building. Thank you for the love on my hair. Florida is in the building on YouTube. So Mississippi is in the house. Hey. All right. So I am going to get to these questions because we have quite a bit of them. South Florida, New Hampshire, Florida's in the house. All right, Florida. Apex, North Carolina. Hey, Cali. All righty. All right. So let's get to subject matter material. Hey, the UK is in the building. I am excited. If you can hear me well and see me well, can you drop a fist in the chat? If you can hear me well and see me well, can you drop a fist in the chat? Let me know that you can hear me well and see me well. Just so like that. Before I get started, we have all of the content and that you can hear me and see me well. All right, so y'all are giving me some love in the chat, letting me know that you can hear me well and see me well. And my team is on. Hey, Delilah, honey, how are you? So Delilah is going to be my moderator for today. So if there is a question or something like that, Delilah's going to help me to answer the questions that are in the chat. Hey, I see the fists coming through. So a couple things that you should know about us. My background is in education, nonprofits. Delilah's background is also in education, but in medicine as well. So Delilah, my love, if you can introduce yourself in the chat, that would be super dope. Just so like that, folks can get to know who you are. There are meeting appointments for meeting with me and meeting with Delilah in the month of April. So if you've ever wanted to book an appointment with either one of us, know that you have the ability to do so. So let me just drop that for you now. Yeah, I'm pumped, y'all, because some of these questions were really good. All right. So the first question that I got, so if you've ever wanted to book a consultation, that's the first one that I got. And I'm going to go into that right now. The first question that I got was surrounding someone feeling stuck. How many of us have felt stuck in our careers? How many of us have felt stuck? You've done all the things. You've networked your heart out. You've fixed your resume a gazillion times. You have, I don't know, you've been to YouTube University. You've done all the things. You've tried to schedule, like you just want to feel like you're making success in your career, but for some reason or another, you're currently feeling like you are stuck. And so for the individual who asked me this question, they're like, Susana, I've done all the things. I have the resume templates. I've used transferable skills and I still get nothing. The first thing that I am going to encourage you to do, if that is who you are, the first thing that I'm going to encourage you to do is to get clear on your shape. Okay. If ever I write a book, I'm going to break this down for y'all in a book. But a shape pretty much stands for what are your strengths, your heart, your ability, your personality, and your expertise. I'm going to say that slow because I talk fast. So, what are your strengths, your heart, your abilities, your personality, and your expertise? A lot of the reasons why folks start to feel stuck in their career is because when we are feeling stuck, we tend to revert to the things that we know, and go back to those things, hoping to get a different response. Okay. And the only thing that I can equate that to is insanity. Insanity is when you are trying to get a different outcome by doing the exact same thing. Okay. So when you are in your career and you are starting to feel stuck, I'm going to encourage you to take some time, set a timer for 10, 15 minutes, and get clear around what is your shape. What are your strengths, your heart, your ability, your personality, and your expertise. This is something that we do with our clients before we get to a point where it's like, okay, let's search for this job and let's go here and apply here. It gets really hard for us to do that with you if you're not clear on who you are. And the reason that I want you to start with identifying your shape is because regardless of what happens, once you are clear on your shape, that becomes your North Star. So for example, I'm going to give you an example and I'm going to give you mine. My shape, my strengths are that I am a public speaker through and through. I've been doing it since I was 5. Okay. I don't shut up. My heart is that I'm passionate about helping women of color, specifically Black and brown women, to land 6-figure roles because I know how transformational it is for us. It's not just about impacting your wallet now, it's also about impacting the legacies that come after you. Okay, if that's you, I need you to type an amen in the chat. My abilities is that I am able to work a room. I have no problem networking with folks or starting up conversation or anything like that. My personality is that I love to smile. I am a good coffee drinker. Okay, y'all see that? I drink coffee. Bustelo is my fuel. Okay, and my expertise is that I have become obsessed on identifying what are market trends and industry trends so that I can share them with you. Okay. So that gives you an idea of what my shape is. Now, here's the thing. Every so often, your shape will evolve as you evolve. Okay. The same way that your resume should evolve as you evolve. Some of y'all, I've seen it, your resumes look exactly the same as they did 15, 20 years ago. And you are not the same person that you were 15, 20 years ago. So let's make it make sense. Okay. So if you are in a season of feeling stuck, I'm going to challenge you to start by identifying what is your shape. And once you have gotten clear on what your shape is, then you can start to identify what your next step will be. For some of you, it is pivoting into a whole different role. For some of you, it is upscaling into the industry where you're at. Okay. So if that is who you are, once you've identified your shape, for some of you, it's time to go. And I know it's time to go, but you're letting your fear make decisions for you. I'm in y'all's business today. So I'm already coming out the gate strong, but I wanted to be able to address this question because there's so many of y'all, especially if you are in the United States, with everything that is going on in the market. There's a lot of doom and gloom, and a lot of it is very heavy. We are not going to walk away from that. It is very, very heavy and it is very challenging. However, when you are able to identify and clearly articulate your value and your shape, then you take the eyes off of everything else that's going on around you and start taking ownership of what your next best step will be. Because if you're waiting for somebody like in the government to come and save you, baby, they're not coming. Especially if you look like me. They're not coming. Okay? So I want you to be aware of that. All right. I don't know. Can y'all hear me on IG? On IG, can you hear me? And can you see me? Because it just told me that it froze. So if you can see me on IG and hear me on IG, I want you to give me some reactions. Let me know that you're still here. All right. I say some. Okay. All right. So we're good. Okay, cool. Cool. Beautiful. So that was the first question. What to do when you are stuck, especially if you've done all the things. All right. The second thing, I'm seeing some of you on IG dropping questions in the chat. My loves, I'm going to ask you to drop the questions in the question bubble. Okay. So if you go to the bottom of your screen, there should be like a chat and like a question mark. I need you to drop your question there because I don't want to miss it. All right. The next question that I got is, how do I resign my post respectfully because they are not paying me correctly? Okay, so how do I resign respectfully, regardless of pay, right? How do I resign respectfully? There's a couple things that usually come with a resignation. First and foremost, it is not a requirement for you to tell anybody where you are going, especially if you are resigning. There is no requirement for you to tell anybody where you are going. You can simply say that you've outgrown this current role and you're looking for new and challenging opportunities where you can maximize your skill set. Now, listen, there's going to be a certain part of you that is going to have to activate your boldness, okay? Because people are nosy. Okay, ask me how I know. Because people will come to my LinkedIn profile to see what I'm up to. Don't follow me. Don't connect with me. Don't do nothing but want to know what Susana doing. Just all in my tea. Okay? So you have to have a certain level of boldness to be able to address that type of situation. So you can say something like, and I'm going to repeat what I said, at this time, I'm just looking for a new opportunity, or I'm moving on to other opportunities, or I'm considering other opportunities that will leverage my skill set in a greater way. I feel like I've reached my cap here. And while I've enjoyed my time here, it is time to move on. That's all you have to say. I can't tell you how many people get, like, you get into your head and you start thinking, well, if I say that, what if they come back and they have more questions? What if I have to tell them? I don't want to burn any bridges. There is a way of you not burning bridges and still maintaining your integrity. The other thing that I'm going to say is probably going to rub some of y'all the wrong way. But I have come to a place in my career where I am willing to burn the bridge while I'm still standing on it. You hear me? I'm going to say that again for those who are in the back, like in the nosebleed section. I have come to a place in my career because I have gotten sure of who Susana is, that I am willing to burn a bridge while I am still standing on it. I will no longer give you access to manipulate me, to gaslight me, to try to attack my integrity and my character and badmouth me. We're not doing that. In the good year of 2025, in the good year of our Lord 2025, I am willing to burn a bridge while I am still standing on it. Because here's the thing. On the other side of that bridge is my entire legacy and support system. And just because one individual wants to have access to me in a way that could be harmful to my well-being, that will then impact everything that comes after me. No, baby, you don't get that kind of access. I did that for too long. So at this point, I have gotten to that place where if it's not for me, it's clearly not for me. And let this be an encouragement for those of you who are watching me. What is for you will not pass you. There is no traffic in called lanes. If you've been called to it, it's for you. Okay? So I'm going to say that again. I said it to you in IG. I'm going to say it to you on YouTube, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. There is no traffic on called lanes. What is for you will not pass you. And for both of y'all, you need to have the capacity to receive something new. And if you have not been able to separate or clearly identify how to sever a tie that is crossed the boundary line a little too much, then you will miss your next best opportunity. And I say that with as much love as possible. And you know why I say that with as much love as possible? Because some of y'all, by the time you book with me or you book with Delilah, and we get the opportunity to work with you, you have been hurt so much in the workplace that your guard is immediately up. And there takes a certain level of coaching on these calls, that we have to like get past that, because your immediate response is that somebody's going to take advantage of you. And like, we're cool. We know where this is coming from. But some of y'all have been so misused and so like, just your talent has been taken advantage of. And by the time you get to work with someone like myself or someone like Delilah, it like, you just don't know who to trust. And so here's this randomo on the internet, me, who's telling you no more of that. We're going to own our dopeness. We're going to claim who we are, and we're going to show up unapologetically. Is that uncomfortable for a little bit? Absolutely. Because for so long, we've been conditioned to perform and sound and look a certain way. Okay? And so I want you to be aware of that. So how do I resign my post respectfully because they are not willing to pay me? My love, the first thing that you do is that you say what I just shared with you. I'm looking for new opportunities that will help me to expand on my skill set. They know they're not paying you. So you don't even have to break into that. Because if you don't have another offer for them to go off of and like cross-reference, it can always just be your word against theirs. Okay. But I will say this, and I was having this conversation with one of my clients earlier. The best time to find a new job is while you still have one. So just because the market is tough does not mean that you should be taking your eyes off the market. Okay. Next question is, how do you accept a new offer from your previous employer who laid you off? The loyalty is questionable. Oh, I'm going to read it again. How do you accept a new offer from your previous employer who laid you off? The loyalty is questionable. So here's the thing, okay? And I am going to be very honest. I don't think that I would. I'm going to say that again. I don't think that I would take a new offer from some place that has let me go before, for a few reasons. From a hiring manager's perspective, last one in, usually first one out. So if they find themselves in another predicament where they have to do layoffs and they have to right size the organization, while you were there for a specific period of time, once you accept the new offer, the clock starts again. So if they're still not on the rebound or they need to make moves quickly, you're likely going to end up in the same position. And so I wouldn't put myself in that position. That's what I'm saying. The other thing is when it comes to accepting a new offer, that's what I received, that type of like job suggestion early in my career. Oh, just leave and come back and they'll give you more money. I don't got that kind of time to play. I don't know about y'all, but like, that's not a game that I'm willing to partake in. So if you let me go, shame on you. Like, it's silly for me to think that with everything that I have been through and lived through, I will not be able to land on my feet. And maybe that's a really just bold statement, but here's one thing that I know. Everything that should have taken me out up until this point has not. And that is because I am a firm believer that there is purpose for me on this side. Because if it should have been my time to go, it should have been my time to go a long time ago. So I refuse to believe that one organization, one offer, one place is the only place where I can maximize my skill set and grow and be developed and have an opportunity to be under the right leadership. So I hope that helped answer the question. It's not something that I would do, but I also understand that sometimes you have very real bills to pay and that you have to make decisions that are going to benefit you and your family. So I would just say, make a contingency plan. So if you have to take this role because there's no other opportunity that's lining up and you need to get paid, then take the role, but don't get complacent. And that is what happens with a lot of folks. is that you take it, you feel real comfortable, real cush, and then you get blindsided. Like, I didn't think that this would happen to me again. This is why I tell you, never take your eyes off of the market. Okay. So I hope that answered your question. Next question I got is it impossible to score an interview without a network connection or perfect AI screening? Is it impossible to score an interview without a network connection or perfect AI screening? The short answer is no. It is not impossible for you to secure an interview without having a connection or a perfect AI screening. The long answer is that you should probably start activating your network. Okay. You probably should start activating your network because, listen, people today, especially with the rise of AI, like they want to connect with an actual human, not just someone who looks or sounds good on paper. Okay. And that's one of the things that I'm hearing from a lot of my hiring manager friends is that they are running into candidates that, like, everybody looks good on paper. With the rise of Chat GPT, everybody's resume is bomb. Everybody and their mama. But then they get to the interview table and it's like, who are you? Because I want to hire this person, this one here. And you don't know how to answer a question or pose a question for that matter. So what is going on? Okay. So when it comes to you being able to score an interview, it's not impossible to do so. We have had clients of ours who have scored interviews without having a connection or without having a perfect AI screening. But here's the thing, leverage where people can find you. So like that, it doesn't feel so difficult to do. So many people right now, just they're fed up with LinkedIn. They're like, Susana, it feels like high school. It feels like Facebook just with a suit on. That's what one of my clients told me. But the truth is that is where hiring managers and recruiters are sourcing for talent. So for as uncomfortable as you feel around LinkedIn, you are too broke not to be visible there. And I say that for all of us, for me included. Okay. You need to show up where people will see you. So like that, you can have opportunities come to you instead of you filling out an application and somebody doing a quick Google search and finding something from MySpace back when dinosaurs roamed the earth and then making a decision off of that. Or finding that all of a sudden you are an office siren. First of all, who came up with that trend? Who came up with that? Because I have seen one too many young people talk about they want to be the next office siren. Baby, if you don't sit down or put on some clothes, you are going to be nowhere. Okay, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, apparently there is a trend called being an office siren, where you wear a certain look to work. And I could tell you from a hiring manager's perspective, you are about to get called into HR or you will get fired for wearing this mess. Okay, the same place where you bought some of those clothes is the same place where you could get yourself a suit. Get it all the way together. Okay, do not Google search what an office siren is. Do not show up like that for an interview. Okay, I will never forget. And again, I'm finding this with my younger generation. I will never forget that I was managing a team and I had a really talented young woman on our team. And she showed up in a outfit that was kind of like flowy in the back. So from the back, it looked like a maxi dress. And I was like, "Ooh, that's pretty. I love the cut." Like it was all the things, right? And then when she turned around, I was like, "Where is the rest of your clothes?" Okay. Because what are we wearing right now? And that is a really uncomfortable place to be in, especially if you're anything like me. Okay. I was not ready for the front of the outfit. And this was someone who was reporting directly to me at the time. So I had to tell my girl, I like, with all the love in my heart, I need you to go home and change expeditiously, like right now. Okay. Because if anyone catches you in this outfit, this new job that I just hired you for, you're not going to have. So I strongly recommend that you go home and you change at least the bottom half. Okay. And then come back to work. And she was awesome. She was like, oh my God, so thank you so much for telling me. No one said anything about it. I'm gonna head out right now. And I'm like, all right, my love, take a deep breath. We don't need to make a whole scene about it. And I don't want anybody else to know that you and I had this conversation. Because here's the other thing, managers, leaders, those who have people who are reporting into you, please don't embarrass people. Please don't embarrass people. Because if the shoe were on the other foot and I was embarrassing you, you would feel some type of way. So do not do that to folks. If there is an outfit that is inappropriate, I'm going to share with you a leadership tip that I received very early on in my leadership career. You criticize in private and you praise in public. You criticize in private and you praise in public. I'm going to say that a third time just in case you didn't hear me. Criticize in private and praise in public. Some of y'all have gotten real good at criticizing in public, and then when they come back after you feel, oh, they're being insubordinate. Oh, they're showing off. Oh, they're not being respectful. You left yourself open. Like, what are we doing? So I remember I called her into my office, and from my office, there was like a secret way outside of our office. And I was like, listen, I'm going to walk out with you to your car. We're going to act like we're having a conversation, and you're going to go home. You're going to go change. I'm going to say that you went to lunch, and then this will be over. We never talked about it again. And I'm so glad that she listened, because that same individual that I had that conversation with, she was so good at what she did that she was able to replace me when it came to giving presentations, connecting with our key stakeholders, presenting all on her own, leading a department of other volunteers. Like, she was so good at that. Can you imagine had I missed an opportunity and crushed her spirit over one mishap? She would have been so disappointed and jaded. Why? Don't do that to people. Don't do that to people. One of the things that I see that I used to tell my team all the time, and this was even when they were not feeling like they were at their best, I would see my team with 10s on their foreheads. Like, I would look at them and be like, man, they're so good at what they do. And there were moments where, because I'm from New York, that's exactly what I'm going to blame it on. Because I'm from New York, I would observe them. I would observe them presenting. I would observe them talking with other families. I would observe them. And the moment that I would walk into a room, they would just be like, Susana's here. And they would feel some type of way because supposedly I had resting bee face. Okay, finish it. But I was really just observing. And sometimes I was really in awe of just listening to them operate in their strength. And so I think about that experience now that I'm watching this office siren thing. And I'm like, man, I wonder what would have happened if I would have just made a complete fool of my girl in public. That would have crushed her spirit so much. And perhaps she probably would have been very jaded and not been able to perform and do well the way that she did. And she was good at what she did. So moral of the story, do not be an office siren, okay? I want you to dress like Dorothy from the Golden Girls. Let it be that. When you are out and about and on vacation, baby, show up how you want. But in the office, let's keep it together, okay? All right. So I feel like that was a long response to y'all's question, but I needed to address that because get dressed, okay? Nobody needs to be clutching their pearls when you come in. Not at all. Not at all. All right. So let me see. I have 2 more questions, and then I have 2 questions in the question bubble, and I want to make sure that I can get to the questions that were submitted ahead of time. So far, the questions that have been answered is, what do you do when you feel stuck? Get clear on your shape. Okay. Is it possible for you to score an interview without a network connection or an AI screening? It is, but the more connections that you have, the likelier, the higher, the better your chances will be. Um, for though, okay, so this next question is for my people who I like to call prime time. Okay. And by prime time, I mean my individuals who are 40 plus. And the reason that I'm speaking to my people who are 40 plus is because some of y'all have believed a lie that your age is holding you back. I'm going to say that again. Some of y'all have believed a lie that your age is holding you back. If that's been you, I want you to look into the camera and silently say, "That's me, sis." Because you show up in my DMs. You tell me how old you are, and you're worried that because you're too old, nobody's going to pay attention to you, or that you're not going to get hired, or that you won't get this opportunity. And I just want to know who told you that. Please tell me who told you that, because I may need to show up, earrings off, ready to knuck if you buck. But I want you to be aware that that's not necessarily the case. This is why you have to address the mind junk before you can continue to scale in your career, especially for those of you who are more seasoned. Okay. Especially for those of you who are more seasoned, you gotta address the stuff that's happening here. We had a client of ours who, and Delilah, if you're with me, my love, let me know if I'm on the right track. But we had one of our clients who met with Delilah, 60 plus. And she was very concerned about her age because she was like, nobody's going to hire me. They're going to see my age and think that I'm ready for retirement and all this other stuff. And I told her, well, Delilah met with her and was like, that's absolutely not true. So we revamped all of the things that were necessary for her to apply. She applied for the position. She had been out of work for some time, and she came back stronger than ever. They almost created a position specifically for her. Okay? So I want to encourage you, if you are older, okay? Please don't start the job search with, "I'm too old, nobody's going to hire me." Because what you think about, you bring about. So if that's already where your mind is, you're already saying that you're not qualified. And I know that perhaps it's easier said than done, but I can't advocate for you more than you can advocate for yourself. So don't count yourself out like that. Our client right now, she is thriving in her career, and she's 60 plus. Thank you, Delilah, for confirming that. Because if you start off with that, oh, I'm and some of y'all are my age, and you're talking about, "I'm so old." Sis, we are in our 40s. What? We are not old. Or maybe I'm on a certain level of Delulu that I don't think that 40 is old. But like, baby, what? When did 40 become old? Some of y'all are my age. And you're talking about, "Susana, I'm so old, they're not going to hire me." Friend, okay, we may have millennial needs, but dang, you're making it sound like we're going into the tomb. No, ma'am. No, sir. So listen, address the mind trash that comes with, "I'm too old." In the same token, I have some of y'all who are younger, who are looking towards graduation. Okay. And graduation is looming. May is around the corner. And I also get your DMs where it's like, nobody's going to hire me because I don't have any experience. You do not, that's not true. That's not true. It's all about how you position yourself. The main reason why we do consultations with folks is to help you with your positioning, to help you with your messaging about how you talk about the experience that you have. And for some of y'all, the way that you feel that you're supposed to be talking about your experience is by putting every single job that you had under the sun on your resume. That ain't it. That's not it. I need you to talk with purpose, with intention, and I want you to be able to articulate your value. Okay, so you have a gap on your resume. I don't know many people who do not, because life happens at one point or another. But again, we're making the gap much bigger in our heads than it is for the experience that you have, for the innovation that you've been able to create. For many of you, you are operating as a department of one, and you run in circles around people who have full-blown departments. And for some reason or another, you have a lie in your head that because you have a gap, because life happened, nobody's going to hire you. I don't know where you get that from. I really don't. And so by the time you come to meet with me or you get Delilah on, we start telling you stuff to do. And because you've already believed that lie and you've perpetuated it so much in your mind, we start giving you strategies and you're like, that doesn't work. I've done that before. That'll never work. Okay, so why are we meeting? Do you want the help or not? Do you want to change? Do you want a new perspective or not? This is why I say I'm not the coach for everybody. Because baby, I'm not. You won't get some of this New York when you start playing small. So just be ready. I'm just saying. Okay? Delilah's going to give you some of that California Compton if you start acting real foolish. Okay? Don't do it to yourself. All right, so let me get to y'all's questions. I'm going to answer about 2 of the ones here. All right, so I answered some of these already. Let's see. All right, what's the best way? Somebody said I'm from Jersey. What's the best way to explain a career gap and frame it in the positive way if you've been applying, but you could continue to get rejections? So if you have a gap on your resume, I want you to talk about what has been the skill set or what have you done to upskill. So just because you have a gap on your resume does not mean that you have been sitting at home twiddling your fingers. I'm pretty sure that has not been the case. Okay. So if you have a gap in your career, talk about anything that you've done throughout that gap to be able to up-level your skill. Have you learned how to use ChatGPT and be able to give AI prompts? Have you been able to make new connections? Have you been able to leverage social media in a way that is completely different and new for the industry that you're going into? Whether you believe it or not, some people just don't know how to use social media, and some of y'all are really good at it. There's about 100 plus of y'all here on IG. 100 plus of y'all know how to use because you joined the live. Like, I want you to be able to identify that some of these things are not as difficult as you make it seem. Okay, so talk about the skills that you've up-leveled during your time while you've had a gap. Okay, let's see. What's the next question? Okay, next question I got was, I've been getting calls for interviews. Congratulations. Think I answer well, but don't get an offer. Please advice. All right, so here's my rule of thumb that I share with folks, okay? If you are not getting any interviews, it's because there's issues with your resume. If you are getting interviews, but you're not getting any offers, it's because you are not articulating your value well. So if you are going for an interview, whether it is an AI interview, whether it's an in-person interview or whether it's a panel interview, you need to be able to share your career narrative. So use a framework. That's the easiest way that you can be able to answer questions for an interview without feeling like you're rambling. The one that we recommend for you to be able to articulate your value and keeps your answers succinct is the STAR framework. Talk about the situation, tell them about the task, what action steps did you take, and then what was the result. I can't tell you how many times I've sat on interviews and I ask a question to a candidate and they tell me everything, including where we fall in orbit around the sun, but they don't answer the question. So use the STAR framework. Talk about the situation. What was the task that you were responsible for, right? So the situation gives context. The task is what you were asked to do, the action steps that you took to complete said tasks, and what were the results. This will keep your answers succinct and on par. Please don't go crazy. Okay. Please don't go crazy. Don't, especially if we're asking you questions like, can you tell me about a time that you had to work with X, Y, and Z? Do not start bad mouthing people. Just stick to the framework. If you got it, I want you to type got it and we'll keep going. All right, let's see. What's the next question? If you got it, I want you to type got it. All right, next question is, what is the best way to ask for a salary increase to your boss, especially after completing a qualification? So the best way that you can start asking for a salary increase is build a case for yourself. Okay. So if you have recently completed a qualification, the qualification in and of itself doesn't automatically mean that you are worthy of a raise. But if you have been doing several steps or accomplishing several performance metrics leading up to this qualification, then you need to be able to document that. And then you can start to ask for a salary increase. You should also, before you ask for a salary increase, you should be paying attention to what is the fair market value for the role that you are asking for this increase for. What do I mean? So there are folks who are like, I want a salary increase and I want them to increase my salary by 20K. That's not going to happen unless you have, number one, documentation, number two, an offer that shows that, and number three, if you don't understand this concept, especially when you're working within an organization, many people don't like what I'm about to say. But when you are looking for a raise internally, the industry standard for you to see an increase is anywhere between 3 to 5%. So if you are already making, let's say, 50 grand and you want a 20K increase, realistically, does that fall between 3 and 5% of your current salary? If the answer to that question is no, then I'm going to encourage you to start to see what other opportunities are available on the market that will get you closer to that 20K increase that you're looking for. Some organizations are incredibly generous and they value their talent. So they're willing to move heaven and earth to be able to retain star talent. Some organizations don't move the same way. So just be aware of which organization you work for. But if you are working within an organization, typically what we see is an increase internally, and you're asking for an internal raise. Typically what we see is an increase of 3 to 5%. So just because you got completed a requirement or you got a new certification, that does not necessarily mean that you're going to move up in salary range. Okay. So this is why I tell you, never take your eyes off of the market. Okay. Because like that, you can continue to see what's available to you. All right, y'all. So this was dope. Thank you for submitting your questions. I hope that this was helpful. If you comment the word book, hey, Phoenix, if you comment the word book on IG, Susana the bot will send you the link for you to book a consultation with myself or with Delilah. If you are on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, and you are interested in booking a consultation with myself or my team, just send me a message on any one of those platforms, and we'll send you the links so like that you can book a time with us. I know that my calendar miraculously has some availability for the month of April, early April, like April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I have some calendar appointments that are available. So if you want to meet with me, know that early April, I have some appointments available. And same thing, I believe, for our team as well. So if you know that you are trying to make moves in the spring and you want to connect with someone, what happens during those calls? We ask for your resume because we'll review your resume. We'll ask you some questions. We'll give you some pointers. And then our hope is to be able to encourage you to take ownership of your career and continue moving forward. For some folks, they're like, Susana, I want to keep working with you. So we'll talk about what other options are available to continue working with us. But yeah, if that's where you're at and you're like, I really need Susana to take a look at my resume and help me, or I really have an interview and I want to make sure that I nail it well, and I want to ask Susana a couple of questions, or I need Delilah to help me get myself all the way together, then comment the word book on IG, and we will send you the link for you to be able to book with either our team. Delilah is one of our members that is on our team, or you can book with me directly. It very rarely happens that I have openings on my calendar. I looked at my calendar today and I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to tell the people. So if you want to book with us, know that you have the opportunity to do so. Listen, y'all go be great. Continue taking ownership of your careers. If you have any questions, we're going to do this again, where you'll be able to submit your career questions, and I will gladly answer those for you as best as I can. For those of you who are asking me, because I have IG open here, and somebody asked me about my my lip that I have on right now. It is, let me see. It is Muse by the Lip Bar. Listen, y'all, the Lip Bar, okay? Black owned, woman owned. It stays forever and a day. I have been drinking from this mug. You don't see any of my lipstick on here. So listen, if you're going on an interview, baby, and you want to have like a pop of color, rock with them. They're bomb. But yeah, that's the color that I have on. It's called Muse. But yeah, I hope that you have the most amazing rest of your week. Thank you for hanging with your girl. Thank you for just thank you for this community. Listen, if I get nothing else, just then to say thank you. Y'all are just incredible. And I am humbled and honored that this is my life, that this is what I get to do. So yeah. Thank you. Have the most amazing rest of your week. And again, if you comment and book on IG, Susana the Bot will send you the link for you to be able to book sometime on my calendar or on Delilah's calendar. Delilah, my love you to the moon and back. Thank you so much for being our moderator and getting the questions that I did not get to in the chat. All right, so y'all go be great. Have the most amazing rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, y'all. See you later.